This can often occur in samsara or cyclic existence. You could say that the definition of cyclic existence is for things to be in conflict with each other, or for things to not be well set. And so when we have instances of competing loyalties, we should analyze them and see which of our loyalties are merely based on emotions or other factors, and which ones have more authentic reasons behind maintaining that loyalty. So it's very important for us to examine with our own intelligence and really break things down and see where there might be benefit and where there might be harm. Because there are some times when it's not really possible for us to maintain two different loyalties at once. Our minds can sometimes work like that too. Sometimes we have trains of thought in our mind that are heading in two separate directions. So we need to cultivate this faculty of being a judge of our own mind and being able to decide for ourselves and be our own best witness. So there's a slogan in the mind training teachings of Tibetan Buddhism that says, of the two witnesses, hold the principal one, or hold to the principal one. That means at the end of the day, you have to trust your own discernment of your situation. I don't have any memories in particular of previous lifetimes. A lot of people have given me the impression that I should remember this and that, and they seem to have this expectation. But what is more close to the truth is that rather than me naturally possessing the qualities that people expect me to have, I've had to work very hard to become what people expect me to be. For example, with regard to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, if you look at his life history and his accomplishments, both on the spiritual and the worldly levels, then you can count up those accomplishments, and I feel it really puts pressure on me. And
no, the 16th.
Oh, sorry, it's not just the 16th, but all 16 previous Karmapas. You can count up all of their accomplishments on both the spiritual and worldly levels, and it's quite an impressive array of accomplishments. And when I do that myself, I begin to feel quite intimidated. You know, and so there's all the you find out all the things that the first one did, all the things that the second one did, and it puts quite a bit of pressure on oneself. But the way I really approach it from my side is that I view this as an opportunity to help other people. I view this as an opportunity that I have been given, and so that's the attitude that I try to approach it with. Just an opportunity to do the best that I can to help others. I try not to focus so much on what other people expect me to do. The best way to speak to Westerners about the nature of mind. Is that a fair rephrasing? So His Holiness said, sometimes what might happen when we are put in the position of speaking about the nature of mind is that we might discover ways of speaking about the nature of mind that seem clear, because what we want is to find a way of speaking about the nature of mind that is clear and easy to understand. But sometimes these apparently clear and easy to understand explanations carry the flaw of actually causing the people who hear them to have even more thoughts spinning around in their minds and not actually truly discover the nature of their minds. And so therefore, it's very important for us to be mindful of our thoughts. we have all kinds of thoughts and projections happening in our mind, and some of these are very old habits. So the main point of getting to know our minds is that we must use our own minds to observe our minds. And this process starts with letting go of all of our old habits of thought and projection, superimposition, and returning our mind to zero, or shunya in Sanskrit. If we can do that, then we will be creating space for a new type of intelligence to arise, by which we can truly investigate and find out who we really are. When we practice the path of spiritual awakening, we do so by going through a sequence of stages. And it is in the earlier stages that the principle of adopting what should be adopted and abandoning what should be abandoned is emphasized. So, doing the right things and avoiding doing the wrong things is a very important aspect of emphasis in the initial stages of the path. But as one progresses through the path of awakening, having familiarized oneself with that basic point, one begins to transcend one's concepts about Lhasa, that previously clung to the true existence of what is to be adopted versus what is to be discarded. And so when one comes closer and closer to true reality, then one's mind becomes more and more free of concepts about what to adopt and what to reject. But that realization of true reality in its most authentic form is very difficult to achieve. And therefore, one must be very careful about mere intellectual understandings that what to be adopted and what to be rejected do not truly exist. Therefore, even though from the ultimate perspective, the phenomena of morality don't truly exist, from our perspective, we haven't fully embodied that reality yet, and therefore, until we do, we must place greater emphasis on working on the relative level of maintaining morality.
Information error in the sun and Daji go culturally.
We live, of course, in the information age, and this has a profound impact on spirituality as well, because whatever we want to know about so many different spiritual traditions is at our fingertips and can come to us so easily. At least information about it can. So our spiritual practice has a danger of coming too close to our habits of consumerism. And furthermore, there are so many choices about what spiritual path we may wish to pursue and how we may wish to pursue it, that this abundance of information can sometimes create more confusion. So the main point of true spiritual practice is learning about one's own mind. And one of the main qualities we develop through practicing spirituality is gaining an ability to focus our minds so that our mind is not always being carried away by things on the outside, but rather our mind is able to hold its own ground and not always be influenced by other things or carried away by other things. We gain more focus and control over ourselves. The true spiritual path is about finding out who or what oneself is, by turning our attention inward. And so to do this, we need to be able to stick with the basic question or the basic questions. You could say the mother of all questions of who we are or what it is that we are, and keep our mind focused on that. We avoid that happening through compassion. First, we need to truly understand the principle of interconnectedness and what it really means. It means that we are not separate from others in a true sense. It's not the case that we're over here in a solid way and others are over there in their solid way, but rather we are a part of others. Others are a part of ourselves. Through that genuine understanding, we come to assume greater responsibility for the welfare of both ourselves and others. We have more concern about it. And this sense of responsibility isn't just a burden, but it's something that encourages us further and further because it is rooted in compassion. It should be rooted in compassion. So if our understanding of interconnectedness is joined with a genuine heart practice of compassion, then it will become truly meaningful. And with regard to the third question about entering into a period that seems like it will entail greater and greater suffering, one might have thought that due to all of the advancements for humankind, such as scientific advancements and material advancements and so forth, that things might get better and better. But the way things have happened, it seems as though it's possible that things could become more disastrous. We, of course, are witnessing many different kinds of conflicts, religious conflicts, conflicts related to ethnicity, and so on. We see this. And so, with regard to any potential future suffering that takes place in the world, it's important for us not to allow our minds to simply follow after what's happening on the outside and be completely swayed by external conditions, but rather to hold fast to our own aspirations and sustain the energy of those aspirations as much as we can. That is very important. No matter how much darkness there is in the world, we can see ourselves as a source of light. And if we do that, then I think that will be very beneficial.